Hello, Uganda. Good evening and welcome to the show On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amara. Tonight we are coming to you live from the residency of the Right Honorable Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, Robert Nabanja. On January 15th, 2026, Ugandans went to the polls in an election where President Museveni was declared the winner with nearly 72% of the vote, against 25% for opposition leader, the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi or Bobi Wine. But opposition parties have rejected the outcome and called for action from the judicial response to what they described as widespread irregularities and the absence of conditions necessary for a free and fair election. This time, NRM has fronted many representatives from the elections, even in the central region, where they had few representatives this ending term. Some even going through unopposed. Now, to reflect on all this and unsaid from the elections, we host the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Robert Nabanja. Honorable Prime Minister, thank you so much for allowing our cameras to come into your beautiful home. And I have to first begin by congratulating you for having been re-elected in Kakumiro, but also congratulating the NRM for that resounding victory. Congratulations.
You're welcome, and thank you so much.
You know, this election, when you look at in the last 30 years, it's almost closer to what the president earned in 1996. Because when you look back, it's been maybe hovering around 60 and 58, but in 2026, you go up to 72% almost. What accounts, what brings this resounding success in your view that we hadn't seen almost in the last 30 years?
First and foremost, I want to thank you for coming here to my home in Makerere Kavule. I want to bring you greetings now that you have talked about our president-elect, from the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, our President-elect, the Chairman of the NRM Mighty Party, and the Commander-in-Chief. So he appreciates what you, the media people, are doing to the country. You have done a lot, despite a few hiccups here and there. I also want to further congratulate His Excellency the President and the NRM government for the resounding, I repeat, the resounding and well-deserved victory in the just concluded presidential and parliamentary elections. I also want to take this opportunity, now that you have started with elections, to thank and commend all Ugandans for the exercise they did, of course, exercising their constitutional mandate under Article 1 of our Constitution to elect leaders of their own choice. I repeat, to elect leaders of their own choice. This time, the president, our President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, was overwhelmingly supported by all Ugandans across all regions. As you are aware, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has consistently won presidential elections since 1986, like you have ably enumerated. I can even give you a highlight of what it has been. In 1986,
96 maybe?
1996,
yes.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni won or was elected with 74.3% against his challenger then, the late Paulo Kawanga Semogerere, who scored 23.6%. I think you can recall. In 2001, His Excellency was elected with 69.4% against his challenger, Dr. Kiza Besigye, with 27.7%. You'll also recall that in 2006, it was still Besigye who performed quite better with 37% against our president, who scored 59.3%. Then in 2011, it was still Kiza Besigye who was the main challenger. Our president got 68.38%, and then Besigye polled 26%. In 2016, Besigye came back. In Uganda, Yalemerako.
Just to elect the president.
Now, our president,
who are trying to
scored 60.62 against Besigye, who scored 35.1. Then in 2021, there came a younger man. 2021, our president scored 58.38% against my brother. You know, Bobby Wine is my brother.
And if your neighbor even very here. His office is just right here.
Yes. Chagran scored 35 point something, 0.08. Then recently, Chagran came back again. He scored 24 against 71.65%. Muzei was overwhelmingly supported this time. Remember, previously Besigye was getting overwhelming support from northern Uganda and eastern. But this time round, our president scored better in all those areas.
If you could pause there, Right Honorable Prime Minister, because the 2026 results almost go back to 30 years ago of 1996 when he was vying against Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogere. I want to know, for a leader who has been in power for 40 years, what makes him as popular 40 years later as he is now? What is it in this term that you have done for Uganda and for the people of Uganda to say, let's stay with this gentleman? No matter he's been here for decades.
First and foremost, for northern Uganda, it's peace and security. You know how those people suffered under Kony and many other wars that were there before. Peace and security. As you are aware, the whole country now is peaceful. And people are doing their cardinal role.
It's almost 20 years since Kony was kicked out of Uganda.
Of course.
So what is it this time around? Because Uganda has enjoyed peace with all respect. Now it's 20 years.
As you are aware that we have implemented a number of wealth creation programs, including PDM. PDM is a game changer. True or false? We were starting this program in 2021 when people were laughing. PDM, people are getting this little money, the 1 million people call little money. So PDM, Enyoga, and many other wealth creation programs have helped our people significantly. People are buying seedlings using the same money, and they're developing themselves. Secondly, in addition to peace and security, the skilling hubs the president has put across the country. I want you to remember, under the skilling hub, when the president had gone to, Gilbert Oranya has been a critic of this government.
In Clark County.
In Clark County. That is, which district is it?
Must be Amuru.
Amuru. when the president was commissioning the first graduates of the skilling hub in northern Uganda, Gilbert Olanya said, I wish this had come many years ago. Do you remember his comments? So the skilling hub, our people have benefited, especially those who dropped out of school, and to me, that's also another game changer. We have implemented the 2021-2026 manifesto up to 87%. All that we promised our people, we have been, by the way, updating you, the media people. There is when I updated you in my office and we're at 57%. And that was 2024. Every year we have been updating our country, how far we have gone. And we're even those programs which had not yet started, we're telling you the reasons as to why they are not implemented after the latter. Uganda has been able to be connected on tarmac roads from north to south, east to west, tarmac roads, save for a few challenges here and there, like our road from Mityana to Mubende. But even then, the contractor today, if you saw the news, because I know you also had...
Right Honorable Prime Minister, I want to remind you that a couple of months ago, I was right here in your beautiful home and I was asking you about the road from Mityana to Mubende, and you said tomorrow.
And we gave the money.
But it never happened.
No, it happened. That's why they worked on 9 kilometers. And even now, I was trying to monitor through my use of monetary tools and departments. I brought Honorable Katumba Wamala to my office, the Minister of Finance, and we are trying to see how best we can implement that pending promise of government. So we also discovered that some contractors like Enago, I think Enago... It's
Enago project, yes.
Yes. They are the ones who did this road in 19... was it 19...
Should have been. It was started 88, 89?
Yes, 88.
It was one of the very first roads that
yes.
the NRM government began when they came to power.
Yes. So that contractor, I think, has challenges.
Because that was a different Enago.
He does not demand any money from government. He's paid to 100%. 100%.
So what explains the delays that we have seen on that road, Honorable Prime Minister?
The delays, I think, are his weaknesses. And we have decided to call him to order. So we are going to have a meeting with him on Tuesday so that we can find out maybe other underlying factors. But as you can see, Mubende, Chegegwa, Chenjuju, your home area.
Yes.
That we have decided also to now equip our own construction units. That is under Ministry of Works. And they are doing a good job, isn't it? I believe they will even complete that road before Enago. So we sometimes find it challenging because Enago did a very good job the other time. We are wondering what the problem is now.
But you should understand, Right Honorable Prime Minister, that was a very different Enago. That was Enago before the disintegration of Yugoslavia.
No, it is the same contractor.
Yeah, but it looks like they have weakened because where they're coming from in 1988, Yugoslavia is no more, and now this Enago project. But I want to look into what you call protecting the gains. Right Honorable Prime Minister.
No, I wanted to complete my points.
Okay.
Like I've told you, government has implemented a number of programs. I was talking about the 2021-2026 manifesto. Mm-hmm. Remember the number of roads we have connected to the national road network. The Palisa, Kamonkoli, Tirinyi Palisa Kumi, Mubende Kakumiro up to Buhimba, Chigumba, you know, those roads, and many others across the country. This has given people hope. And that's why they voted the way they voted. We also have other pending road infrastructure that are ongoing. We have the Nakauka up to Kisubi, you know those roads?
Yes.
We have a road from Koboko up to Yumbe, which is undergoing construction. You know, we are almost 60%, and many other parts of the country. We have this road from Masakamu to Kura. As you can see, we also implemented a number of, we worked on a number of health centers. Health center 3s, we upgraded some health center 3s to 4. We worked on hospitals. Kayunga Hospital was upgraded recently to a referral hospital. Yumbe Hospital was upgraded to a referral hospital, and many others are upcoming. As you know, that under the Ministry of Water, a number of town centers have been connected to piped water. We have also been able to connect a number of town centers, a number of districts to the main grid, I mean electricity. It is this term of office that we were able to commission Isimba hydropower dam and Karuma. We have others, and now we have, remember in 2020, in 2021, we had challenges of power blackouts. But now this term of office we had.
Okay, right Honourable Prime Minister, I can see you taking us about the gains.
Yes.
And one wonders, right Honourable Prime Minister, when you score 72%, and when the results were declared, and then you don't see the kind of jubilation we expected to see in Kampala, in Kakumiro, in Fort Portal, in Barara. Kampala was dead quiet. Kampala was dead quiet. Kampala, right here where you are.
No,
Honourable Prime Minister, what explains that Ugandans are quiet, are not celebrating when the results are announced, yet you have all these gains, and yet the performance was up there?
Let me tell you, my brother.
Yes.
It was obvious. Yes, it was. So people knew that, because once you elect and vote, you get that satisfaction, natural satisfaction, because the president is the same. He has been winning over years, like I've already enumerated. So people knew it was obvious because of that kind of performance. So people were celebrating internally. Secondly, I remember you saw the jubilation. I was part of those who welcomed these results in the National Talent Center. Maybe you wanted us to dance, but as a Prime Minister, you cannot dance the other style. So, internally. So, our people are happy because they know we are going to have continuity. Uganda is one of the most stable countries in Africa. And this has helped us to attract investment in this country. You know the number of factories we have. So, and all that creates jobs. The president had the best message among all the presidential candidates. His message was one of the best. How do I say this? He was giving Ugandans hope that this is where we are, this is where we came from, and this is where we want to go. Other people were promising people protests. Protest vote, protest. So people are tired of wars, by the way. Our people want to coexist.
Okay.
In a peaceful manner.
Right, Honourable Prime Minister, hold on to your point, because we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'll be asking the Prime Minister about those who have rejected the sport. My name is Patrick Amara. My guest tonight is the Right Honourable Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, Robin Anabanja. And we are talking to her after that resounding victory of the NRM party at the presidential level, at the parliamentary level, and you could also say at the local government. But you know, Right Honourable Prime Minister, you had this slogan of protecting the gains. if you go to Kakumiro, or even where I come from in Kenjojo, quite frankly, some people are still wallowing in poverty. Do they even understand the gains you're talking about of protecting?
Oh, yes. We still have older people who were present in 1986. And I believe you were quite...
Yeah, I had some an idea of what was going on.
So during that time, it was difficult for Ugandans to engage freely with the security. One of the most important gains we have had in this country is the professional personnel when it comes to UPDF, police. You can engage them even in any part of the country. Our Ugandans no longer fear our security personnel. Two, it is because of that that we have been able to be peaceful. So we are protecting the peaceful environment that has enabled Ugandans to do whatever they want to do. As I speak now, you can leave this place and go home, and you are sure you will go alive. All situations are predictable. You can predict that after this program, you will go back home safely. True or false? That's a big gain Ugandans got. Secondly, under the Ministry of Works, like I've already told you, we have been able to connect our country on tarmac roads and motorable roads. Under the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, we have been able to generate power up to 2,052 megawatts. And we are about to add on more dams. So you cannot talk about industrialization without electricity. That's why Uganda is one, like I've already told you, one of those countries that IMF and these other organizations term are the best investment destinations. You come to Uganda, invest, you are sure that you will get the profits.
You know, it is true the economy has grown from about 3-point-something billion dollars in 1986 to over $66 billion.
No, to 16 times.
Yes, but yeah.
To $61.3 billion.
Yeah, but okay, if you can grow the GDP, but how about the per capita, the income of the individual Ugandan in Kakumiro, in Chawente, in Ruhinda,
I can give you statistics.
What is the income of the individual?
The gain we are protecting in 1986, the GDP per capita as compared to now, you are aware that Ugandan, we are now in the middle income status. True or false? Though it is still lower with $1,239. And we aim we are projecting to be at 1,500 in the near future. Now, I also want you to know that the GDP per capita, all the economy has grown 16 times. Like I've already told you, it is 61.3 billion US dollars.
You know, when you talk about $1,500 per capita, what it really means for the person who is listening to you in our villages, that a Ugandan individual in a year is every family or every individual should be able to have about 4 million shillings in their pocket. That's what they are getting.
Yes, but this is because we still have the 30%. Let me talk about the 30% of our population who are not yet in the money economy. We have 70%. By the way, this is a very big percentage as compared to other African countries. You compare yourself to Burundi, for example, which I don't want to go. You don't allow me to go there. So Ugandans who are still below the money economy at 30%. And that is our target in this coming Kisanja or this coming term of office.
So you build the roads, Right Honorable Prime Minister. You say the country is connected, and in some sense that's true. But when you look back, the roads you're talking about, Koboko, Kakumiro, or Kamonkoli, what are Ugandans transporting on those roads?
And that's why we came up with PDM. The parish development model, which program we started implementing this ending term. We have so far given 3.3 trillion to Ugandans so that they can identify profitable enterprises so that they can have better household income. And to me, this PDM project has helped us to uplift. Remember, by the time we started PDM, we had 39% of our population were below.
Outside the money economy?
Yes, were below the money economy or outside the money economy. Because of PDM, MYOGA, and the other government programs, we have reduced it to 30. And so we also have a projection that in the next 5 years, we shall have reduced this number to maybe about 20%.
So let's look at the reality that we are living in today, Right Honorable Prime Minister. You, just only 2 weeks or thereabout after the elections, it's actually 2 weeks today, and the person who came second in this election is running for his life. The international community and the world over is looking at Uganda more or less like a pariah state, because if somebody who vied to lead, they cannot live in this country peacefully. What do you make of that? Because it takes away the gain, it takes away the shame of your victory, that the person who you won should be sitting there conceding defeat and saying, okay, this you did. But that's not happening. It takes away a shine of your victory, doesn't it?
It doesn't. You know why I'm saying this? Nobody has refused the Honorable Kyagulanyi to stay in his home. I don't know why he's moving up and down, because as you are aware, I think government doesn't have anything against him as I speak now. And I believe you are aware, because the president has talked about this. The Minister of Internal Affairs today in the House, I was there, he talked about the same. The Minister of Information and National Guidance talked about this. He's not wanted by government. And everybody is wondering why he flee his home. Let him come back.
This is Kyagulanyi, Barbara Itungo, is on record telling the world how military men assaulted them, forced their way into their house at the wee hours of the night and beat them up. And because of that, she was actually even admitted, I think it must have been St. Francis Hospital in Zambia. And members of the Fourth Estate, the media, were there to listen to her story. And that is very discouraging and sad. Are you suggesting that Barbara Itungo, Mrs. Kyagulanyi, could have lied to the world?
That is not for me to comment. And I don't think I need to comment on it. Because first of all, you know my office, I'm quite busy. Sometimes I may miss some news.
Well, I must tell it to you that the wife of the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi has told the world that military men broke into their home in Magere at the wee hours of the night and assaulted her. And because of that, she was admitted to hospital. And so everybody else would deduce that it's no wonder that the Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi has to be out of the home if the innocent people in the home can be can face that kind of assault. But I want to look.
I don't have any comment on that.
Oh, fair enough. But let me look into in Buganda, because in 2021 you performed as NRM miserably, I could say. But in 2026 you came back into the region. So what explains the gains you could have gotten in Buganda that 5 years ago you were left in the doldrums? This time you came back. What did you do differently in Buganda?
First of all, I want to thank the president for the guidance he gave us. I believe you are aware that we did a number of services in Buganda, like many other parts of the country. We worked on a number of roads, including Kampala. Kampala is now like a construction site. Wherever you are going, there is some project that is ongoing. That's one. Two, the Buganda team for NRM was more united than ever before. And do you remember the functions we have held, Buganda for Museveni? Do you remember? Then two, my office also did some work. I remember the agricultural expos. I remember the service delivery meetings I held in a number of districts. I can even enumerate these districts. I started in Ruwero with my team and other ministries, the Ministry for Ruwero Rwenzori, Ministry of Public Service, Honorable Muruli Mukasa, and many others, to see what government has done in those districts. I remember one day, while in Mukono, we discovered that the roads committee in Mukono is not functional. So we revitalized it. We were in Masaka, Mubende, Chankwazi, Chibuga, Mitiana, many other districts in Uganda. And to me, we were able to put pressure on the districts so that they can perform better. Then two, we did oversight, because that's my role as a prime minister. We are also following up on the performance of government projects. I want you to remember, one day I organized a meeting in Kampala, in my office. And I remember NTV was also present, where we discovered that there are some roads, for example, from Bwaise up to Saporo Kabwa. Do you know that road was under construction? But they did not have designs. Why? The consultant who had been hired to have these designs for these roads was being paid monthly. So I had to stop that. We even went to Kamocha somewhere where they had an office, and we forced the contractor or that consultant to produce the designs. Sarama, these other roads which were, I remember even the signals, these Kampala signals were not being implemented. Why? Because the designs were not available. So the contractors were at loss. So it is because of our monitor and oversight role, which I believe we implemented better, that people saw and had hope in our government.
You know, there's a very classic example, Right Honorable Prime Minister, I can bring to you, and that's the road, I think it should be Hoima Road, beginning from Bakuli, that takes you up to Nakulabye and go to Kasubi. You know, you constructed from Bakuli up to Kasubi, and then you stopped. And that should have been like 8-7 years back. I see some work going on now. And I remember telling my son, who was going to Lohana Primary School, that watch this road, it's going to take maybe 3-4 years. He was in P7 in Lohana. He's now at the University doing civil engineering, and the road has not even reached the northern bypass, right in the heart of Kampala, right, Honorable Prime Minister.
Those are some of the challenges we had in KCCA. But since that time, you can see the speed at which we are implementing the road construction works in this part of the country. I also wanted you to note that we have implemented differently a number of things. Yes. By the way, even the media, you have been active in helping us to monitor the service delivery in this part of the world. You have, and okay. I want to commend you.
I want to ask you about the diabolical nature of the voting day itself. The government, through the Electoral Commission, invested billions of money.
No, I wanted to talk about because when I say how did
right, Honorable Prime Minister.
You want me to because I was still telling you why NRM remained a formidable force as compared to our competitors.
Which I think you've done.
The opposition, no.
You have explained that.
Let me talk about the opposition. FDC in 2021, they had 2 parties, but now they have 4. Isn't it 5? They had 2 parties, so they disintegrated. When for us the NRM remained united. NUP already has disintegrated. They have 2 or more parties. You know what I'm talking about, the fights they have had, which have really, because for example in Kampala you would find NUP having a candidate, FDC fronts a candidate, then DP also comes up with a candidate. Now we have PFF. That one. You know now, like Semuju came under PFF. And NUP fronted the candidate. Here in Kampala Central, here where we are. This is it Kawempe's house? For us, we had 1 candidate. For them, NUP brought the brother to Chagulanyi. FDC also brought, and the others brought. So for us, we remained united. And we made Medina go through. So for them, they have been disintegrating.
Yeah, but you see, that going through that you're talking about is being contested because if you ask all the opposition leaders, including some members of the Observer Group, they say there was they talk of vote rigging, but the irregularities, the malpractice, for example, the biometric voter verification kit completely failed across the country.
No, let me
despite
ask
of the billions of money
if
that was
NRM was rigging, how did they pass through? Because NUP they have how many candidates? How many members of parliament elect? They have, I think, 40. When NRM has 374, mark my word, NRM has 374 members of parliament across the country, including where we are. So that shows you that the candidate or the opposition in some areas, they did not have candidates. Where I was, I stood with an NRM independent, NRM leaning independent. And in many other parts of the country, we already have 300.
But you see, it has been very difficult.
Excluding Ame, by
for some of them, it's been very difficult, Honorable Prime Minister, to even open offices in rural Uganda. In Kakumiro, we are told actually, when the Honorable Chagulanyi was coming to campaign in your constituency, and you happened to be there, you brought a helicopter and landed it in a place where...
No. The fact
that's what we hear.
By the way,
you landed a helicopter in a place where Chagulanyi was supposed to be.
You have given me an opportunity. Let me explain this.
Yes.
When the Honorable Chagulanyi was coming, I was here in Kampala. I had scheduled him. I'm also a candidate.
Yes.
My own program. The security, together with his team that headed his campaign trail in Kakumiro, told him, you are going to Kisita. He had no program in Kakumiro whatsoever. But he was told that in Kakumiro there is a market day. So, in fact, remember, they had even blocked his road to go to where he was supposed to go. But it is good he enjoyed the roads we have made. In fact, I'm told when he reached Kakumiro, he said, these people are enjoying the Tamaka roads. So, for me, I landed an helicopter. That's where I land it all the time when I go. I was coming, I believe, from Nakasongola, where I had a meeting. I came with an helicopter from Nakasongola so that I can also attend to my people. Because for me, I really go to Kakumiro. Now, it was a market day. He tried to go through the market so that he can confuse the market, but people remained in their market. But wherever I go and land at Kakeka playground, where my home is just adjacent to that playground. So when I landed, people came to welcome me because I am also a candidate. So for me, I went home to change my clothes so that I can put on a Gomez, so that I can go and attend to my meeting, which I had organized in Kakindo. So when my helicopter was still there, the man comes because voters had come to welcome me. Fortunately for me, I had just gone home. Now I was told he was there complaining, people had come, but his schedule was different. He was supposed to be in Kisita. And that's why he had a public address. Here he did not even have a public address. Can a presidential candidate organize a public rally without a public address system? It was not there.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, hold on to your point, because we're going to take a break. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amara. My guest tonight is the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Uganda, Robert Nabanja, and we're going through the recently concluded election where the NRM got a resounding victory, with President Museveni getting almost 72% of the vote. But now, let's look into the next 5 years.
I wanted to conclude my point.
Yes, Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Ugandans in most parts of the country wanted to hear what the opposition is planning to do for them. While in Kakumiro, in Kisita, where his public rally had been organized, while there, he only attacked me. I was like his manifesto. People expected him to promise them, to talk about what he has for that part of the country. He only told those people that he was going to chase me. When I become Prime Minister, I will chase her. That was his manifesto. And once you talk about...
In your home area?
In my home area. And once you talk about Nabanja in Kakumiro, then you know you are attacking the wrong button. So he attacked me and said, I know Nabanja is my sister. Like I've also told you, I know he's my clansman. But that does not mean that I support him. For us, we are looking at capacity. He's a crowd puller.
That you give him?
He's a crowd puller. That one we know.
You acknowledge?
That we acknowledge. But that does not translate into votes. Let me give you an example. In 2023, we had a by-election in Hoima. Do you remember?
Yeah.
He filled one of the playgrounds in Hoima. That is called Chigorovia. Inside my heart, I said, we are finished. But on the voting day, do you know how many votes his candidate got? Only 15 votes. 15. People come to see a celeb. He's a celebrity, isn't it? But that does not mean that that translates into votes. Why? He has no message. He does not give people hope. When you talk about protests in this country, people have gone through war. Uganda in 1986 was a net exporter of refugees to our neighboring countries. We now have 2 million refugees in our country, hosted here. They ran here because of peace. So when you talk about protests, and I think that's why he's hiding himself. By the way, this has given me an answer. He's hiding himself because he promised people what he can't deliver. In Uganda here, we are peaceful. And people enjoy this peaceful environment.
But Director Honorable Prime Minister, you know,
and you are aware
the
office of the Prime Minister.
In some cases, the ground is not leveled. You know, here you have a presidential candidate and you have members of the military, senior ranking officials, telling the people, you vote and go home. Or we shall arrest you, we shall slaughter you, we shall behead you.
Who said that?
Well, it has been said by members.
By who?
By the Chief of Defense Forces. He has attacked the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi with very aggressive words.
How?
And this is a respectable public official.
No,
for heaven's sake, a 4-star general. When he speaks,
let me be sincere. My brother, I want you to appreciate this. You have been following how the president has been disciplined in one way or the other. I want to take an example of our brother Mugati Gwabata. He was
Mubarak Munyagwa.
Ulusania Muchere. He was in Parisa because where he had planned to have his rally in Kamugi playground, there were no people. On the same day he was in Parisa, there was a market. So he decided to go to the market to find people where in their busy market. So police had to stop him. No. Why? Because that's how police stopped Chagulanyi to enter our market. People come to look for support, to look for money, school fees and these other things. For you, you want your people. And some of them steal. They go to steal our people in the markets. So that one is a no-go.
Does it
so why do they want to go to these areas?
Right, Honorable Prime Minister, does it concern you that, you know, members of the leadership of NUP, including the Vice President Zedriga, is arrested and at some place where she's not even reachable?
But what I know is
over 1,000 members of NUP are in jail. And in some cases, Right Honorable Prime Minister, they could not go and freely open offices across Uganda or even campaign across Uganda.
I saw Chagulanyi opening offices in Mbarara. Yeah, he opened an office in Kisita. No sooner had he gone, people wanted the money. Let me give you an example of my place. He opened an office in my area, Kisita. Okay? When he left, people wanted to get rent. So when he left, the office closed. There are no people of NUP in Kakumiru. And nobody was running the office. People take advantage. They took advantage of him. He went ahead opening offices, and he had no people to run those offices. In Kakumiru, for example, his office closed the day he left.
The democracy as we have it, Right Honorable Prime Minister, isn't it better to have an opposition that can always be you know, checking on you? I mean, no, it is good for us. It's good for democracy.
Let me tell you.
But this kind of win?
No, yesterday I was on one of the media houses. I said, I am a friend of our brother, and I will miss him. This man of Kira.
Semuju
Nganda. He's my friend. Why? While even today he talked about me. Oh, because we are consulting about the budget framework paper with the Minister of Finance. He said, order, procedure. Our Prime Minister is busy talking to the Honorable Musasizi. And those are checks and balances, and we appreciate, isn't it? We appreciate. But we have no role to put them to order. They should have a mechanism of managing internal contradictions. They have lost all their members, senior members. Do we have a role? No. You have you have a senior member who, this one of Segona, and then you bring a junior person who does not have even papers. Was it the mistake of NRM? No. Internal contradictions are normal because we are brought up differently. But if you don't have capacity to manage internal contradictions in a party, you expect NRM to come and put that to order? And that's how they have lost all the senior members of parliament. All of them almost. They have remained with a few who cannot do anything. So is that our role to put them or to clean their contradictions? They must have mechanisms. We also have internal conflicts. Internal. It's normal. I believe even in your organization, NTV, those are normal happenings that are supposed to be managed by high officials like the presidential candidate and
you see, when you are in a party in power, you have all the instruments of coercion. You're in charge of the police and the military. And we see what happened in Butambala, where people, about 10 of them are shot dead in a home of a member of parliament. In an election like this, Right Honorable Prime Minister, it leaves a scar on
I have no comment
on our country.
I have no comment to make on that
let me
because
tell you,
I want you to appreciate
that people died.
No, I want
in
you
Butambala.
I know, but I believe this has been brought before the courts of law. I don't want to comment on anything that is under courts of law. I will not comment about that.
So, the people of Uganda have given you a huge mandate, 72%, the presidency. Mm-hmm. What kind of country or service should we expect in 2026, 2031?
Oh, thank you so much. Now, thank you for that question. For us, the NRM, we are very organized. We have been in charge of this country for now 40 years. And so we have a manifesto.
By the way, NRM as a party has been in power for 20-something years. Yes. The other one was, the movement was different.
No problem.
Unless you mean the leadership, the presidency of Yoweri Museveni, but as a party, it's been 20 years.
Yes, okay. Mm-hmm. Even 20 years is not a mean achievement. There are those who are yearning to have chance, and they have not had it. So we are proud even for having made it to that period of time. So our focus is to, first of all, continue to have this country managed very well. We must continue with peace and security. You cannot talk about development without peace and security. Peace and security will be guaranteed. So, fellow Ugandans, and I know this is the reason why you gave us this mandate. Then two, we shall, like you know, our tenfold strategy. We shall be accelerating industrialization with a focus on building factories, which will definitely use our locally available materials. You know the minerals we have in this country. Still, the other day I was delegated by the president to have one of our biggest investors in East Africa It's called Guru. They are putting up a big factory in Tororo. So very soon we shall have to manufacture our steel from Muko, because our iron ore is 75% pure. So we have attracted a number of investors in that regard.
You know, we've been there. For example, I remember almost 10 years ago, the president went into the groundbreaking ceremony for building the Osukuru factory that was supposed to have about $600 million, but that factory never came to be. So some of these things...
Osukuru, by the way, let me tell you,
but the president...
It was revamped. You are not aware, I will take you there. In 2023, 2024, the president, you know, those people suffered litigation. They had internal contradictions from China. And so they had issues with another investor in this country. I will not talk about that, but since then, their contradictions were resolved by the Attorney General, including my office, and they are coming up again. Sukuru fertilizer factory. We are going to focus on export promotion, because with PDM and the other wealth creation programs, with the sensitization and many other, we expect to produce a lot of products.
Right, Honorable Prime Minister, the people you've given money, 3 trillion and more, through parish development model, I expect most of them have gone into agriculture. But have they put any value on these things? Are you going to export them as raw as they are?
Of course, this is what our focus is going to be. We want to add value. The other day you saw the president in Tungamo. We have been exporting coffee as coffee bean for decades. Our grandparents. A kilogram of coffee costs less than $3. A finished product of the same quantity costs around $35. So we have been exporting jobs, we have been exporting all that much money and developing other developed countries. So we are saying we need to add value to our products. And we have attracted quite a number. We are also going to add value to our timber. Remember, the president stopped the exportation of raw timber in 2023-2024, and I have been the chief implementer of his directive. And since then, we have attracted 45 factories who are adding value to our timber.
But when you talk
and
about...
that comes with jobs.
When you talk about timber, Right Honorable Prime Minister, 50 or 30 years back, our forest cover was almost like half of Uganda's land mass. Today, the forest cover has dwindled so much. At that rate, I even wonder whether there will be trees left in Uganda 10 years from now, because the forest cover is being depleted at an alarming rate. And
that's why we said we needed to add value. And because of that, by the way, in 2023, 2022, every day 1 million trees were being harvested. After having got those statistics, I will even show you the letter from the president directing me to stop the exportation of raw timber. And since that time, like I've told you, we have attracted so far 45 factories. So, export promotion. And by the way, we are exporting now finished products. We are also exporting timber like plywood. We are exporting to DRC and many other East African countries. We are also targeting the markets of COMESA, the East African market, and the free African trade area. we have a free zone in our country. We want to take advantage of this. And then, by the way, Uganda now is exporting more to United Arab Emirates than what we import. They call it a trade balance.
Yes.
We get more dollars from Dubai in Uganda than what we import from there. So we export.
So as we try to come to the conclusion,
that is that is number 3. Mm-hmm. We are also trying to see how we can have access to the global market. You are aware we have been penetrating a number of global markets. Why? Because the products nowadays we produce are up to standard. Then we shall also continue to produce more. I can talk about we shall generate more power, so that this power can help us to attract as many factories as possible. We are talking in terms of, as we speak now, we are generating 2,052 megawatts, as compared to 60 megawatts in 1986.
But really, right on, Prime Minister,
our target,
even if it was not the NRM or any other, from 1986 to 2026, do you really think that the power generation would have stagnated at 66 megawatts?
No. But I'm saying, wait, I'm also saying our target is we are going to use what they call a power mix. We are targeting nuclear power.
Oh, wait a minute. So we're about to build nuclear power stations in Uganda?
Yes. And feasibility studies are done. And that will generate us.
So the cabinet, where you see it, Right Honorable Prime Minister, with all respect, you believe that in the near future, Uganda will be having nuclear power stations?
Yes. All the studies have been done, designs are done. What we are waiting for is money. We shall continue. As you are aware that oil and gas, we expect to generate some quite good amounts of money. And because of that, we shall also target nuclear power. Then, of course, we shall also continue with other projects, continue to work on roads.
Let me ask on the 3 major projects that you have undertaken, and maybe if you can assure Ugandans that in this term we have been given the mandate, you'll be able to conclude them, and that is the standard gauge railway.
Oh, that one.
And whether we shall also have the oil flow finally to the Indian Ocean,
this year,
and the building of the oil refinery in Hoima.
Now, let me give you a synopsis. The standard gauge railway, we already have a contractor.
Mackenzie.
Yes. We already have paid the PAPs,
Project Affected
Persons, from Maraba up to Kampala here. We have handed over the project to the contractor. So to me, and we have also identified money which we are going to use to do the same. We expect to have the first drop of our oil this year, if all goes well.
You're still committed to that deadline?
Yes, this year. And we expect that you are aware that the pipeline is almost 60% complete. I hope you are aware. If not, I will take you there.
You know, you have said many places to take me.
Yes. But I don't mean to take you personally, but NTV.
Okay. Yeah.
NTV.
Okay.
And many other projects. We shall continue to increase on revenue collection so that we have enough money generated in country to work We shall reduce on borrowing.
And the refinery?
The oil refinery, the president has identified a number of investors who are going to do that work.
So now,
today I read a letter from the president. I may not reveal this now, but I think we are in the right direction. We are moving in the right direction.
well, as NRM, you have had a winning candidate and a winning formula for this long. And for 40 years, we are in the leadership of President Museveni. Some will love him, some will hate him, but the truth is he has added value on a country. But are you thinking, he's human like you and I. For heaven's sake, he's 80 years and above. So, and we have given him another mandate to lead for another 5 years. Is this the time where we're going to see NRM internally talking about the transition of leadership from one individual to another?
That is for us, the NRM.
Yes, I'm asking you, the NRM.
Why don't you leave it for next term? We have just elected our president. And to us as NRM, it is ours. To us as NRM, we think he's still energetic enough to lead our country. And you know, you also have to appreciate that this position is one. We already have a tested leader, tested for 40 years, like you have said. Mm-hmm. And Uganda now is moving to the middle income status. For us as NRM, we think he's the best, among the best. So for us, we are democratic in our party. And we usually don't interfere with the other parties' activities. You saw what happened to FDC. You know what happened.
Well,
Can I tell you?
FDC came out from NRM, so...
Yes, you know what happened. Besigye wanted to show the world that he's more democratic. He handed over power to who? Remember the history. To General, the former CDF.
Muntu.
After some time, there was competition. Muntu handed over to Amriat. After Amriat, now FDC is no more. For us, we know we still have an able leader. We don't want UNTV to force us to stagger.
Well, the president is on record. He actually was speaking in my language, in my home city of Fort Porto, and he said that these people you see called the opposition, I'm going to finish them. And I think he has been super focused on that, and he has delivered on his promise to finish them.
They are finished. FDC is no more. You saw the percentage they got. They used to be the biggest political opposition party. Now they are number what? I don't remember how.
Right, Honorable Prime Minister, I know you're still basking in the glory of a huge win, but it is for you to take because there has been a contestation and you have taken the win. I want to thank you for the time you've given us to have this kind of conversation, to come in your beautiful home. What's going to be your concluding remarks, Right, Honorable Prime Minister?
We intend to create more jobs for our people, you know, the youth, through industrialization, like I've already told you, through manufacturing. My office will continue to effectively coordinate, monitor the implementation of all government programs, of course, to accelerate socio-economic transformation. We shall also do our best to make sure that the legislative agenda is given to Parliament in time. through the speaker who will be elected, the deputy speaker, and of course the leader of opposition who will come in this coming term. We shall coordinate, I promise. To my people of Kakumiro.
You never forget that, always.
And that's why I'm what I am. So I respect my people dearly. So to my people of Kakumiro, I want to thank you for yet another term you have given to me, the mandate, the overwhelming support. I know I had a lot of challenges as a leader of government business in parliament. Sometimes I would find myself with limited time to go and meet my people. But I also, like any other human being, I had to see how best I could do that. The other challenge I had in my constituency was high expectations. Being Prime Minister, people want you to do many things at the same time, and yet you have the whole country to cover. So sometimes I would find myself with limited time to meet my voters. But nevertheless, I knew I have my ways of doing it. I can give you a synopsis of what I used to do. Every morning after my routine exercise, I would go through Kakumiro Community Radio to meet my people on radio and give them hope and somehow train. Every morning I do it from Monday to Sunday, at least 30 minutes.
Wow.
Then I also organized a structure that helped me to reach my people. I would delegate local leaders. I have a structure from LC1 up to the district. So I know what happens in my constituency. And we organized a platform. Every evening, if I have some little time, I go on that platform and see what happened to my people.
Right.
And I believe that's why they overwhelm me. Secondly, lastly, we also benefited from government. We have tarmac roads, a few kilometers. We still need to have more. We want to construct a road from Narweyo, Kisita, Mpasana, Nkoko, Kakumiro, and then from Nkoko, Ntwetwe, up to Masodi. I'm lucky it is even in the NRM manifesto. So our focus now will be on that road.
I'm sure people also need from Bukwiri to...
Of course.
Okay. Right Honorable Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanjo, thank you so much for having given us your time. Thank you for submission. Thank you for taking us through the campaign time. But also thank you for giving us Ugandan hope about what you intend to do. And congratulations to you. Congratulations to the NRM government, because that's what has been already been declared. And for those of you, perhaps you never went through, well, there's always has to be a loser and a winner. But one thing is, you do not lose hope. I know we have a country that's a good country. We are good people. We as Ugandans, we can decide two things, to destroy or to build. But I implore Ugandans, let's choose to build.